Let's get you hooked. Welcome inside another edition of The Stampede, a podcast on the Texas Longhorns sponsored by Rise Energy Strips. You can catch us anywhere on social media at The Stampede UT, and you can follow this podcast anywhere you get your podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get them. We've got a great show ahead. So much to get into. Texas 34, Vanderbilt 31. It was mostly a blowout, mostly. We'll get into what happened down the stretch as well.
Blood pressure.
Little bit about the fourth SEC coach out of 16 to get fired, Auburn's Hugh Freeze. We'll get into what that means in terms of buyouts and how this thing is structured. And then, of course, down the stretch, here we go. It's November. It's a chance for Texas to make the college football playoff to get back in the SEC championship game, and they've got quite the schedule to do it. But let's get started with some of the most important things, which I think number one is a pick six for Jordan, right, Vince?
Nice.
Excited about that. Your son with another big in a game. How proud are you as a dad?
Proud dad and mom moment. And I think Coach said he gets it from his mom.
Yeah, he gets his genes from his mom. But I've already offered, but I've gone to mom.
Yeah. I'm just an Uber driver.
Dad.
No, he's a great young player and a better person. He and Candace have done a tremendous job raising that young man. He acts older.
Yeah.
He's very, very mature.
Because he hang around us all day, not kids.
Hang around you and your buddies. The other thing I thought, Bob, when you said there's 4 SEC coaches down, probably some more coming. When you get on the plane this time of the year and your AD's not there, and he's flown with you for 5 years, you know it ain't good, brother.
Yep.
And then when you start texting, he doesn't text you back.
Find
And
your
then
own
he
flight.
always walks in the locker room after the game, and he doesn't come in the locker room. You can just start packing your bags and getting your stuff ready because he's already calling agents to get somebody else in there.
It's not good at all.
That ain't good, brother.
It's wild, though. There are 4 down, and there could be 4 to go. We'll see how this plays out over the next month. But I want to go to one other thing. You guys had a pretty special moment Saturday at the game as we get into Texas win over Vanderbilt in the first quarter. They honored the 20-year anniversary of the national championship. I know you guys talk about it all the time. I know people ask me tons of questions, but to get that team back and to have that moment with them, what did that mean to you?
Well, it was special. Great teams become great citizens. And to see Vince had to be at Jordan's game or got to be at Jordan's game, so he didn't get to come and see his teammates, but he sees them all the time. But to see most of the guys were there. And after the game, when I said, don't make this the best moment in your life, but be better husbands, fathers, citizens, these guys have done that. And successful teams become successful people. And teams that are very, very close, and you have to be close to win all the games and win a national championship. First one in the last 55 years, which I told the guys is hard to do.
Yeah.
There's been 4 national championships at Texas in 100 and something years. So they should feel very special, but it was so fun to see them. I love the fact that you fans gave them a standing ovation. Got me emotional because I thought this is really cool for our fan base to say thank you to these guys because they did something nobody else has done. And it was just it was a really fun moment, not only to see them, but see them out on the field having fun. And then even see, after all we've talked about, Vince didn't come because he's a father.
Yeah.
And he was with his son at a football game, and all
which is exactly what you said in the locker room. I mean, it's
exactly. And you know, it's
respect
to our role model, you know, Coach Brown and Miss Sally. It started with them and the rest of the coaching staff. And we had some characters on that football team. And I know Coach being on the sideline with him this past weekend had some free ab workout just laughing at the guy.
I told some of them some stories we can tell, and some of you I smile at, and some others I shake my head. But thank goodness you all grew up. It was just from different times. My hair's gray because of some of the stuff you put me through.
Those are stories that we're going to kind of keep behind.
Yes. And then Bruce Chambers, the coaches were there. Bruce Chambers walked up and he saw Cedric Griffin, said 6'2" or something, and he said, "Were you that tall when we were coaching you?" And he said, "Yeah, coach, I've been this tall my whole life." And he said, "You all are big." Yeah, and I said, "That's why we won, Bruce. They're really good players."
And Coach jumped up in the air and tear his Achilles in celebration.
He did. And then his wife, Kathy, got mad at him because he got hurt on the sideline. She's going to have to be the nurse. There's a lot of those stories. We score a touchdown at in the Holiday Bowl against Washington, and Bruce jumps up and tears his Achilles. Then he does it again, he tears both of them. And I mean, she's so mad at him. She's ripping him after the game for getting hurt. I
Because
thought,
that's extra work for her, she said.
extra work. She's the nurse.
And just so
Exactly.
everybody knows, my job is to try to pull those stories out of them. I'm trying to do everything I can to get them to tell some of those stories. And off camera, they'll tell a couple of them, and I'm pulling at it. I just want you guys to know.
Thanks,
Vince,
Bob.
how has it been 20 years?
It's been great, man. I mean, for me, I'm one of those guys that I like to get into the community and say thank you. That's why I do appearances, and one of the things Coach Brown did for us was, the spring game. Before the spring game, we had to sit down and sign autographs. I think it was probably like 3 to 5,000 people, and I'm looking at Coach like, really? Are we gonna really sign all these people? But in the same time, at the time, we didn't understand it to now. Because Coach was like, "Hey, these some of the people that probably never can afford a ticket to the game." And for me now to look at it now, like, oh, okay, this is what coach means. So now as I go around and hear people talk about, man, I love that game, or where they was at watching the game, and just having the opportunity to take a moment out of my time in my schedule to say, thank you and sign an autograph, take a picture, wherever it may be. I want to say thank you to our fans for supporting us throughout these years. So as you get older, now you really understand it now. And then knowing that my son and my daughter and they're starting to understand the moment. So it's just a blessing, man, to be able to be the quarterback of that team and get opportunity to say thanks to our fans that always support us throughout the years.
And Bob, I feel the same way. Sally and I are out in the community, and
Yeah.
people are so appreciative. They're so nice. And Coach Roll told me, don't ever walk by anybody that wants a picture or an autograph without stopping, because that's a gift you can give them that costs you nothing except a little time. And he said, and remember, it's not you, it's the position.
Mhm.
But that's something you can give back. And Vince is wonderful. It's hard for a Vince and Colt to even walk through a group because you don't wanna be rude to the people that are waiting on you, but at the same time, you
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 got to
you
keep it moving now,
you gotta keep
especially going
moving.
to the Red River Shootout sometimes. Oh my God, it's
Yep.
crazy.
No, it's hard to get through there for sure.
That's something Arch Manning's talked about. He said, I walked through campus, and I don't know if it was Archie or someone else in his family, but they said, just don't stop. Don't stop walking. As long you can take any selfie you want to take, sign autographs, but as long as you keep walking, they said, if you stop walking, it's over.
But he's late to class, he's late to a meeting, that's and you don't wanna be rude. With Candace and Sally, we'll be walking, people will walk over them to get up to say hello, and they're not trying to be rude.
Right.
They're trying to be nice, but now a couple of times Sally's at functions and I'll be waiting on her and I'll say, "Come on, man. I ain't got time." And she said, "Oh my god, I've waited on you my whole life. Don't you dare say that you need to pick it up here and get
That
going."
sounds just like Mama Sally right there.
Yep, and they're right. She's Italian. She's tough. She's tough.
All right, well, let's talk Arch Manning. Let's talk about this Texas football team, a 34-31 win over Vanderbilt that felt way bigger. It was 34-10. They almost scored a touchdown to go up 41-16 that obviously would have put the game away. There's a lot to get into. But I want to start with Arch. Vince, Arch has taken dramatic steps the last 2 weeks. What's impressed you most about what he's done going for 346 and 3 touchdowns and then 328 and 3 touchdowns? By the way, the first quarterback in 7 years since Sam Ellinger to go back-to-back weeks with 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's really taken
Yeah.
some big steps. What have you seen, Vince?
Well, first of all the naysayers that think that Coach Stark should stop calling plays need to shut up
Which is what we said at the time,
because they're
too.
not saying anything now, right? But
I think he shut him up.
exactly. But what I see that he's just growing. Like Coach said last week, man. You just got to give it time. And he believes in Stark. That's the reason why he came to Texas. And I say it all the time, like sometimes you're gonna have your ups and downs, but for the quarterback at the University of Texas, it doesn't do nothing to make you stronger and better. And you can see the focus of him working each week to get better. Having a chemistry with his receivers now that he didn't have earlier, but a lot of people wanted it to just to happen so fast. It is so different than practice, than real live game time situations. So as they grow together and coach start to understand what Arch likes, I love that they're getting the ball out of his hands faster instead of sitting in the pocket trying to wait till that deep ball opens up. Now they doing the screens, the bubble routes, the short game, the RPOs. That type of stuff helps a quarterback get in the rhythm. And once a quarterback like Arch, that's a talented guy like that, get in his rhythm, he's not going to be stopped. It's hard to stop a guy when you got a guy that's completing the ball consistently, and on top of that, you got a running game. When the guys are running the ball well, even we call those bubble routes as part of the running game. So once you get in that type of rhythm, it's kind of hard to stop a team like that because there's so much talent. As you get past the 50-yard line, it's so much talent that you got to stop. You got a tight end, you got a running back, you got number 21 coming into in play with that screen play they ran. I don't even know what that play even called. Reverse screen pass, whatever it's called. It worked.
That's fast.
Exactly. So these type of things to me is helping Art to get in the rhythm, having confidence in himself. He's starting to feel better, and you can see it. Uh, in his game plan, in his game. Each week he's getting better.
And when you correct me if I'm wrong here, but when you get that short game going, it allows you a little more time in the pocket because the defense freezes a little bit, thinking it's going to be something short, and then Arch can take that deep shot as you move forward. The biggest difference, obviously, has been moving Connor Robertson to center, moving Cole Hudson to guard. That has given them some stability on the line they haven't had for much of this year. They're able to run it a little better, but they're giving Arch the time he needs to throw it.
Yeah, we always thought in coaching, if it's not working, change it. If you keep practicing and using the same mistakes, you'll keep getting the same results.
Yeah.
So fix it, man. Fix it. And there is a process. We all got ahead of ourselves with Arch. And it's so easy because he's got such a wonderful family and history. They've all been great, and we expected him to walk in there and be great. There's a process. Vince wasn't great. He had great ability, but he wasn't great till he played enough to get trial and error and then learn who he was. We had to learn who he was, and we helped Vince, and that's what's happening with Arch. Same with Colt. Colt said he went under after Vince had his 2 weeks of Oklahoma and Missouri. Colt had his Ohio State game. And you think your life's going under because you can't do anything. And then you've got new receivers. Well, they're starting to get healthy and growing up. Wingo now has become the guy that we talked about in preseason.
Yep.
He wasn't early. He is now.
Mosley as well.
Uh,
Healthy Emmett Mosley.
yeah. And they're running the ball for over 100 yards. When you run the ball, it's easier to pass protect. And then the offensive line's so experienced. Some guys that were hurt are back in there with more experience. They're healthier, and they're doing a good job. And then Baxter comes in, scores a touchdown.
I was so happy to see
So
that.
so it's all coming together now, and it's late in the season, regular season, as we
Right.
talked about. They still may be halfway through it if they get what they want. But what's happening is they've finally gotten their identity. They're getting experience. They're getting confident. They're getting healthy.
Yep.
And they know who they are and what they wanna do. And Vince said it a few minutes ago, when you hit that flare and you hit that flare, and you said it, Bob, all of a sudden, then you pump that flare and you throw deep. You got a double move off of it. When you have some things you can do, you can get things off of those things. That's where you get your double move, your play action, and when you're running the ball and you can use play action, they can't rush the passer. There's no sacks. And then they get tired because you're hammering and you're beating them, and you've got some rhythm. But confidence is a powerful thing. It's like a drug, and lack of it is awful. If you don't have confidence in your life day to day or in your sport, you've got no chance to make it. You got confidence, everything's got a chance to be real.
Well, and Vince, to that point, you think about what this offense looked like just 3-4 weeks ago against Florida. They were dropping passes. Wingo's wide open. The wide open wide receiver pass to Endries, he overthrows him. You go to Kentucky, Arch has Endries wide open, he misses him. Wingo's dropping passes over the middle. Same thing that happened at Kentucky. Kind of OU, they scored 16 points, but it wasn't great in the first half. What do you think it is, Vince? What's changed so dramatically for this team that all of a sudden they look like, second half of Mississippi State, and then pretty much the entire game against Vanderbilt, they couldn't be stopped?
Yeah, it's just accountability. So, don't nobody want to drop a ball in the game. Don't no quarterback want to miss a wide open throw. It hurts. Like,
Yep.
how did I miss that? Because I hit it at practice all week. And then when the bullets are flying, you miss that throw. So seeing that, in film room or knowing when you in the front of that crowd that you love to play in front of, and you hear that, "Ah," that type of stuff burns your inside up. As
Sure.
a receiver, as a quarterback, as a DB missing an interception, you go back and watch that on film, you're like, "I gotta make that play," not only just for me myself, but for my teammates because this game is so inches, you can lose if you miss one play like that or you jump outside. We saw a lot of games this past week. I mean, it was awful call that gave him that two-point conversion, but just imagine we miss a touchdown or something or a field goal and they giving them 2 points. That 2 points is the game changer that we might lose or win a game. So when you miss a big throw down the field or you drop a pass, you gotta think about that. If I make these mistakes and miss these opportunities, it can hurt us as a team. So you gotta think about that each week. Like, I gotta make this play for my team. And it's very big that guys have that take accountability for themselves to know that I have to make these plays for my team.
This Texas team was great offensively against Vanderbilt. Mack, the defense in the last 4 weeks has just been basically unstoppable. Texas leads the nation in sacks now with 34. They've had 5, 5, 7, and 6 the last 4 weeks. And I know everybody, Colin Simmons has been awesome. Anthony Hill's coming on too. Ethan Burke, Brad Spence, Lance Jackson, some of these guys are really just taking massive steps. Trey Moore, I mean, you just go through that edge room. It's wild how good that's been. What do you think the difference has been? And obviously, you had a Diego Pavia who's going to scramble around a little bit. They contained him for the most part too.
Yeah, the difference in this game was they kept Diego in the pocket. They stopped the run. Texas got ahead, so Vanderbilt had to get out of their Army, Air Force mentality
Yeah.
of keeping the ball going really slow
Yeah.
because they're out of the game. So they had to do things to get back in the game. When you do that, you gotta drop back and pass, and the pass rushers are better than the pass protectors in most cases, and definitely on Saturday. So Texas has done a great job of signing pass rushers, getting them in high numbers so they can stay fresh.
Mhm.
And usually your highest paid player on defense is going to be a cover corner or it's going to be a pass rusher. If you can stop the run and rush the passer, you're going to win the game. And that's where you get your turnovers. You hit the quarterback, you get a strip sack fumble. So those, I think that's what's happening right now to the Texas defense there, and they've got a lot of injuries in the secondary. So it's great time to have an off week because those guys got critical experience in a game they won. People say, well, they didn't look good at the end. Who cares? By Tuesday, it's a win, and that's all that matters is winning and losing.
Yeah.
And to the coaches, they'll go back, and Dwayne Aquina is one of the best. He'll go back this week and teach those young ones. They got valuable experience, even though it's bad. You can't give up 4th and 19. You can't do that. That'll get you beat, but it didn't. So they get beat at Florida. They have a great second half at Oklahoma. They come back and they're in bad trouble at Kentucky, but win. Find a way to win. They're out of the game at Mississippi State. That one's over. People are leaving. I like to read those emails at halftime of Fire and Sark, and I used to read those at halftime, then we'd come back and have a great comeback and win. Yep, I was kidding. Hey, great game. God extend coach. That's the way you do from halftime to the end.
Easy to forget it's a 60-minute game.
It's easy to forget. 60-minute game, and then you get Vanderbilt, and you've won, so now you have a chance in your last 3 weeks here to get on a roll. Got some 2 really hard games. Arkansas struggling. That one will be in DKR, and Texas is winning so much at home, and a lot of that's you fans. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you have become a powerful place for a team to play. You're a difference maker, man. I love it. And you're staying positive, and you're there early, and you're wearing orange. You're having fun. I walked through Beaver Boulevard. That it's just the coolest thing to see the environment.
Yeah.
I mean, this is as good as any place in the country now to play at home, and you're doing that. So with 3 weeks left, you have the script set if you're good enough. And Georgia's not as good as they've been. They're struggling. They're winning right in the end,
Mhm.
like Texas. And then you've got Texas A&M. I'm impressed with Texas A&M. They go to Missouri this weekend. That'll be really interesting. But Mike Elko and Marcel Reed are the real deal. So that's I'm gonna show up for that one at DKR because that's gonna be a lot of fun.
They were 7-1 going into November last year and fell off the map. So we'll see if this November is different for them. Vince, what's impressed you about this Texas defense? Obviously, listen, as Max said, you got some great experience for Derek Williams and Xavier Filsaime and those safeties as Michael Taff and Jelani McDonald were out. But when you lose your two safeties, sometimes things are going to go haywire. I mean, it's a reality of it. Vince, what's impressed you about this
Well, I
defense?
like the guys that are very disciplined. You don't see guys out of character. They are starting to they're getting a lot of reps actually. A lot of more plays than the offense. So they're getting a lot of, game time situations. And it's happening at the right time. Everybody was asking for turnovers. Now we getting them. And everybody was asking for sacks. Now we lead the country.
You
These
should have
things
asked
are
earlier, right?
exactly. And
Just tell us what you want.
right, just be patient. We're gonna give it to you. Just be patient.
Uh,
And Muhammad, oh my God, this guy is playing outside his mind right now. Ever since he played in front of Oklahoma, in front of his family and friends back in Dallas, he's been a whole different kid. He's already was talented, but now he's just, to see him on a cornerback blitz and chasing Diego down. I mean, he didn't make the sack, but putting pressure on him to throw an incomplete pass. These type of things is what we need at the end of the time of the season. And what everybody always say, defense wins championships. They forgot about us quarterbacks and talented guys on the other side of the ball, but defense win games
you
because they
fill the
give us the
stands.
ball back. So
Offense fills the stands, defense and kicking game.
exactly. So the
You had them all show up.
yeah, so I'm excited to see these last couple of games, and like Coach just said, they got an off week. Now you go sit your butt down and rest up, and understand what this week means. It's taking care of your body, man, because it is a hard, long season. Like Coach said, they've been traveling, coming home late in the mornings. That stuff is a tear on your body. Yeah, it's a tear on your body. So take advantage of this week. Understand like, okay, we're not done yet, but we can take a deep breath and get ready for these next 3 tough games that they have coming up.
And Bob, the Vanderbilt watches those guys rush a passer. Oh, Pavia says,
Yeah.
I don't like this, brother.
Yeah.
My right tackle's not as good as Colin. So it's not gonna be good. And then the defensive players feed off each other.
Yeah.
They know if a defensive tackle has to get a double team, that frees Colin on one, then they either have to keep a tight end in, they have to keep a running back in to chip, and then you don't have as many people in the route. That's not as good. So, confidence, feeding off of each other, setting that standard that Vince has talked about, doing it in practice.
Yeah.
And these guys, they talk trash all the time in practice. The offensive tackle said, "Man, you ain't gonna touch Vince today." And Brian Orakpo said, "I'm all over it, man. I'm gonna eat Vince's lunch because I'm gonna run by you. You're not even gonna touch me, man."
B-Rob.
Here comes
Yeah.
Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
B-Rob, I mean, there's so Rod Wright, I mean,
Yeah.
Frank Ocam, there's so many of them talking trash in the locker room by the time you get out there, and you want them to compete, you want them to have fun, and don't fight because 'cause you'll break your hand.
They
We
definitely gonna
said,
fight.
"Don't
They
Punch a
definitely gonna
helmet.
fight.
Don't punch a
No."
helmet, please.
When they started the fight, I used to say, "Okay, everybody back up, let them fight till they get tired, and then
Right.
they'll quit fast.
Right.
Don't fight. We don't need 5 broken hands."
All right. So I wanna run through something with you guys because I think this was an important piece of what Sark said after the game, and I wanna get it from a coach's perspective and a player's perspective because I think sometimes the player kind of feeds off the coach in these situations. It's 34-10. There's a holding call on Shannon. There's a personal foul on Filsaime where Diego kind of pulled him down. I don't know if that was really there. On the 25-yard touchdown that Pavia has, Lance Jackson's basically tackled, and they don't call the hold there. The two-point conversion, obviously, that everybody saw that they call good and then review it and somehow still call it good. The offsides that they call on Texas as a false start. There's a pass interference. They don't call on Emmett Mosley on the touchdown. That ball drops. And then there's another pass interference on Malik Muhammad. So
Are you
My-
questioning the
I'm not.
officials?
I'm going to send all the league office. That's what I'm doing with those.
Are you gonna be fined?
But my question is, and Sark said this after the game. He said, "I thought we got too caught up in the end in the officials and what was going on with the officiating." He said, "I did, and my players did too." And sometimes that's a reflect. You play off your coach. If your coach is mad about it, you're going to get mad about it. Those type of things. That's a difficult situation to be in because when the momentum changes so dramatically, you're trying to find something to change it, but then the officials are kind of against you, not against you. I mean, they're doing their job, whatever. But how do you as a coach handle that with your team when you're mad at the officials and you're screaming at the officials, going nuts on them, and then your team gets mad about it too, and then things kind of start to fall apart? How do you keep it together in those moments?
Vince, why don't you answer it first as a player?
Yeah. I mean, how difficult is that?
It's it's difficult. I mean, I remember when we played Missouri in Missouri. I don't know if you remember this, coach. I think the refs called just about everything to try to piss just about everybody off, not only just coach, but
And it worked.
everyone, and it worked too. I think we was scoring, we was making big plays, and they was calling holding, they was calling something, and it was very frustrating because we couldn't get in our rhythm. And one thing you didn't want to do that game is give the ball to Brad Smith, and they kept making us 3rd and 12. It was something every time, and we got so frustrated, we was all screaming at the ref, and it took us out of our game. It took us off our focus level, and coach had to settle us all down like, "Hey, guys, let me take care of the ref and you guys play." And, we listened to that, but it was still frustrated to a point that we were trying to, get points. We trying to kick Missouri's butt because we trying to let the world know that we deserve to be number 1, number 2. And right at that point, at that moment, I felt like those zebras, those Foot Locker guys were hating. So, I don't wanna say this, but is Vegas involved? So,
Well, but
it's just horrible, man, that, you gotta deal with that type of stuff, but when you got a great coach like Coach Brown, he tells you, like, "I got it, guys. Y'all play game and let me take care of the reps." And that's what we needed to focus on, but at the time, it does get frustrating.
yeah,
I think at some point we will have a gambling episode, right? We need that. We're going to need about 2 hours to get
Exactly.
into that.
That's the
and
next show.
no, I always said you do what you do. What's your job, Vince? Your job's to lead the team and score. Leave the officials out of it. What's your job, offensive and defensive coordinators? Coach your players. I got the officials. It's my job, and it's my job to take up for our team and make sure that if they aren't doing their job, that I let them know it. And some of them got rabbit ears. Now, I love officials because they don't get paid very much. They work really hard and they're passionate about the game, but they're human beings like the players and like the coaches, and
Of
there's
course.
human error.
Of
Mhm.
course.
And I do think we have to take it upstairs. And if there is a huge mistake, like there was in the Clemson Duke game, like there was in the Texas Vanderbilt game on the 2-point play, it needs to be something that the best official is upstairs, and he says even if they don't take it upstairs, he needs to take it upstairs and say, "Change that. That's not right. I can see it on TV. Let's make sure the team that plays the best wins." We're gonna have to do that. And that you never wanna mention gambling with players or officials or coaches. I mean, it's but there's gambling's a real issue.
Yeah.
That takes the pressure off everybody when you take it upstairs and view it, then there's no chance of anybody being questioned about gambling because those are facts. That's how it gets done. I saw a game earlier in the ACC, earlier in the year where Wake Forest was going in to kill the clock, and if they get a first down, the game's over against Georgia Tech. Huge upset if they can pull it off. Georgia Tech jumps off sides, they don't call it, and then Wake Forest loses the game in overtime. If the man's off sides and you take it upstairs, even if the human missed it,
Right.
throw the flag.
Right.
He's off sides. Let's make it right because you want the team that plays the best to win. And we've got to do that at some point. I don't know. Why don't we have a laser for down markers? Why do we have a bunch of officials running and a pile of guys saying, "Where's my right foot? Where's my left foot?" And we're inches away. We cost somebody a game because we don't know where the spot is. We've got technology that will tell us where the spot is.
Well, how do you not have a camera on the goal line that is up
Yeah,
high so you can
yeah.
see straight down the
So
goal line?
so
Like,
we've
it's
got some
pretty
things
easy.
that we've got to tweak, and then Dabo Sweeney calls out the officials, and he gets a $10,000 fine. Steve can't say anything, so you feel like you're not taking up for your players, and sometimes I thought, like at the Missouri game or on our sideline, if we were so frustrated with the officials, I needed to go off
Mhm.
because that took pressure off the players. They said, Coach has got it. But I needed to throw my headset. I needed to scream, and I got one flag in 36 years. And that was a few years
And when
ago.
that hat come off, oh my God, when them
Yeah,
headsets come off.
Sally said, "I'm usually good when I talk to you. When I walk away and go back, then I'm mad." So that's when the hat and the headset comes off. And Chip Robertson just come, put the headset back on. He was really good and quiet and easy. But I do think that we can improve our game in that area for fans and for players. We've got to do a better job of making sure that the right call is made on the field.
And not saying there was anything to it, because that would be the wrong thing to say here, but Vanderbilt was plus 3.5. It's just interesting how these things work out. And it's it's 10 games a week that are on the number, and one call shifts it one way or the other. And it's about the win or the loss for the team, but where gambling is right now in this country, it's a totally different deal for so many people out there. And we're in a new era. It's
Yeah.
just we're in a different spot with some of this.
Well,
stuff.
gambling's tough because Georgia's playing Florida.
Right.
Right.
Gunnar Stockton runs the last play of the game, and the clock is going to stop, and the game's over.
And he makes the right decision.
And
It
he
wins
makes
them the game by
based on analytics.
Yeah.
He made the right decision. He took a knee at the 1, and the clock runs out, and then all the gamblers lose their money. That's why it's called gambling. You're gambling. You're rolling the dice to see if it's going to work or not.
Right.
Just like me with my quarterback in the Notre Dame game where it was pouring the rain, and I'd taken the quarterback to throw for a bunch of yards. That was gambling. And I lost because God decided to pour that night. The wind was blowing, and it didn't work well. But I think that's the other thing, and we'll talk about gambling sometime. But now we've got a lot of areas where gambling's legal, and that gets really confusing with 18 and 19-year-olds. And we see these superstars in the past say, "I can take your $500 and turn it into 5,000." And these guys say, "Oh, I've got some NIL money. So why don't I do that?" And then it's gray. What is illegal? Is it illegal to bet on college football? Is it illegal to bet on your team? Is it illegal to bet on somebody else's team? Well, why is that illegal? So we can't be gray with young people. They are being paid. We've got an NFL model, but these are not pro players. These are 18 to 20-year-olds. They're human beings. They're impressionable. There's some addiction issues out there for all of us. All of us have some things that we like doing that we probably shouldn't be doing all the time. So that's why they call them addictions. So it's tough.
And that's the, now that they're going to allow NCAA players to gamble on the NFL or on other sports that are professional sports, that changes things too. So I agree with you. I think we should get more into that, and we definitely will. For now, though, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the other side of this. For the coaches' side, Hugh Freeze out at Auburn, the 4th SEC coach to go down this year. How many more are coming? We'll get into all of that and what these buyouts mean, and what Sark said about it this week about how buyouts, it is what it is. You got to get into all those things. So we'll get into all that when we come back. This is the Stampede, a podcast on the Texas Longhorns, sponsored by Rise Energy. Strip back after this.
Game days are a marathon. Tailgates in the morning, kickoff in the afternoon, and celebrations that can stretch late into the night. You need energy you can count on without the sugar crash or jitters.
These aren't your typical energy drinks. Rise Energy Strips give you clean, natural energy you can carry in your pocket. No cans, no spills, no hassle.
And no waiting around wondering when it's going to kick in.
Exactly. Each strip has 50 milligrams of caffeine from natural sources, plus vitamin B12, L-theanine, and electrolytes, all from natural ingredients. They dissolve under your tongue, so they work up to 5 times faster and are 10 times more efficient than pills or energy drinks. 0 sugar, 0 calories, and the convenience to keep them anywhere in your pocket, wallet, or gym bag, so you've always got clean, natural energy when you need it.
Yeah, I could have used these back in my playing days. It would have saved me from carrying around a can like it's part of my uniform. With these, pop a strip, fill it fast, and you ready to roll. That's a winning game plan.
And now you can try them yourself. Get 25% off your first order at riseup.com/stampede.
That's RIIZEUP.com/stampede. Rise Energy Strips. Smart, simple, and built for the long game.
Breakfast might be the most important choice you make all day. That's because with Wendy's 2 for $3 breakfast, you can mix and match your very own perfect pairing of our delicious morning favorites. With this breakfast deal, the choice is all yours, not someone else's. And isn't that how it should be? It's your breakfast after all, not Martha's. She can pick her own breakfast. This one's all for you.
No matter what you choose, from our sausage biscuit with that grilled breakfast sausage or the egg and cheese biscuit with fresh cracked grade A egg and melty American cheese on a fluffy buttermilk biscuit, a small size of perfectly seasoned potatoes, or a medium hot coffee to power you through the morning, all you got to do is pick your ideal morning pair.
You really can't lose because you're the one calling the shots. The choice is all yours.
Wake up to Wendy's 2 for $3 breakfast just the way you want it. Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. No substitutions, not valid in a combo, single item at regular price.
Support for the Stampede comes from Google. Being a college football fan these days means you're part analyst, part GM, and part rules expert. The game is just so much more complex than it used to be. One minute you're trying to decode X's and O's, the next you're debating the transfer portal. This is what college football fandom's all about. And AI mode in Google search is perfect for it. It's built to handle all those nuanced, complicated questions that go way beyond a simple stat.
You can ask it to do a deep dive on strategy, like break down how the spread offense compares to the pro style offense based on philosophy and pace. Or then you can pivot to more off the field elements and ask, what are the main reasons there have been more transfers in college football in recent years?
You can even get real-time analysis, like asking, how have this year's college football rule changes impacted the season so far?
AI mode will post all that info together for you. So whether you're wondering about a complex scheme, a new rule, or why your favorite team rosters look so different every year, you can just ask Google.
All right, welcome back to the Stampede, a podcast on the Texas Longhorns, sponsored by Rise Energy Strips. Really good stuff in the first block from these guys on the Texas win over Vanderbilt. Now let's get into some of the coaching decisions. Auburn's Hugh Freeze is the fourth coach that's fired in season in the SEC this year. Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, and LSU, all coaches gone. There could be a couple more. We'll see how this plays out. I think some of it depends on buyout. Some of it depends on how the team finishes. I still think there's something to be said for Kentucky is in that spot with Mark Stoops. You never know. His buyout's pretty big. I don't know that one's going to happen. There are whispers at Tennessee that they're not real happy with Josh Heupel not being elite. There's whispers at Oklahoma that if Brent Venables loses some of these games down the stretch, they aren't real happy with him. What happens with Shane Beamer at South Carolina with the disappointing year they've had? So that's four more coaches. That's half the league that could fire their. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen to any of those guys, but it's just we're in a bizarre situation.
Never know.
Mack, as a coach, and to see it fall off the table as quickly as it did in a 2-week span, it goes from, hey, we got national championship aspirations to we need to revamp our entire program. We're in a different time right now, and things are very different. Steve Sarkisian said this week, you got to pay the buyouts, you got to pay the coaches. What are your thoughts on some of the things that are going on right now, specifically in the SEC?
Well, and I agree with Steve. Like I said, I never had a buyout that was worth anything. If I was, I'd be flying around in private planes instead of hopping on those commercials. So I was wrong, but Steve's right. You got to protect yourself. I really see coaching right now, especially with somebody who's been there for a few years, like a divorce. We loved him. He was the best ever. Oh my God, we love our coach. Don't you ever leave. Been here too long. You got beat last week. I don't like you anymore. You're not even trying anymore. You're playing too much golf. I don't like your attitude at the press conferences. He looks like he doesn't care. He just looks like he doesn't care on the sideline. So I really, I hope our viewers, some of you watch The Bachelor, Bachelorette, some of you watch Love is Blind. Sally and I watch those all the time. And it's really unique because they go from a divorce. That's when you get coach. So now you're dating. You're looking at this new coach, and he's going to be perfect. Oh my God, he's never going to lose a game. I like him. Oh, he's got a good attitude. He's nice. He's friendly. Oh, he hugs the fans. He signs autographs. This guy gets it, man. He took that program, turned it into this, and then all of a sudden these dating shows. You're on this island. You're at this hotel. You're drinking. You got great food, and then you find this person that's perfect, and you marry him. And then after that, you go back and you have to get back to work. And then you don't like them anymore. Then you go back to another divorce. So none of these coaches that you're hiring are perfect. And if you're going to get rid of yours, you better have somebody in mind that you can get, not that you think you can get, because everybody thinks their job is better than it is because they love their place. That guy coming doesn't love your place. He's out there just looking around. So then you hire the guy. The best time in a new coach's life is from the press conference that he's hired until the first game, because then he can get beat. And he starts making these stupid decisions that the fans question.
Right.
So, and you got to be careful about the grass is greener. Who's Penn State going to get better than James Franklin?
It's
So
nobody
we're
out there.
around talking who's that first you think, and then you call, and now the guys that have jobs are all getting extensions because they're having to interview during the season while they're coaching their team. They're having to lie.
Yep.
Their agents are getting the name. So let's give him $15 million to keep him.
Right.
Because we like him right now. Well, 2 years from now,
So
he
now
leaves
you're
his
stuck
3 in a
with that.
row, and you're going to fire him. And what's happening to these people that are given these great buyouts and they're hiring the wrong coach? So you that are firing them better get the right fit.
Well, and look at Auburn. I mean, they hire Brian Harsin. It's not a good fit. He doesn't understand what's going on there, and by the time he figured it out, it was too late.
And
Then
Brian's
they're
a
like,
great coach.
and
He was
yeah,
here.
he was here. And
But
then they go get Hugh Freeze, that's who they wanted originally anyway. And they go get him, and then he's not what he is. And now Auburn's in their third hire in the last 5 years. Like it's a revolving door that is really interesting. Vince, I don't know that we may have to shut it down. You and I are not going to be able to follow up Mack's breakdown of Love is Blind and The Bachelor
Exactly.
any better than he did.
You all probably have jobs. You don't have enough time to watch.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about a show I watch.
You don't have any time to watch
I
it.
have no time, but it's crazy to see that that's what's going on in our day and age right now. That you don't have no loyalty, or you got to look over your shoulder. As a quarterback, I remember I had to look over your shoulder when I played in the NFL, because I had a guy that kind of liked me but didn't like me, so I didn't know I was going to be on the bench or I was going to be starting. So I had to look over my shoulder all the time. But to see the coaches have to do that, wow. So as a player, you like, who am I supposed to follow? I can't follow this guy or give it all to him because he might be gone. So first of all, let me put my name in the hat for coaching. Put my name out there.
Being a fired coach.
Yeah.
Let me go put my name out there, coach. Since they doing it like that, let me go and put new face, Vince Young, head coach, such and such. Let me go and put my name out there in the hat. But it's crazy as a player that you gotta give it all you got in the off season, and going through the process of, I want to play for this guy, this coach, and he's gone. That is crazy for a player, because you were put your soul, sweat, and tears and everything in this coach, and he's gone. Now you got to like switch over to a guy that you probably have a relationship, an intern or defensive coach, offensive line coach, wherever it may be, that's already in the building. You kind of speak to him a little bit, but you don't have that type of relationship with him. And then you got to go turn it on for him. So the biggest thing is like what we came here for as a player is to graduate and win a national championship. You got to keep your focus on that because of the fact what's going on in our era right now. And this is why I always say what I've been saying, like we said the last show, is don't be one of those guys that when it's not going your way, um, get to the point of keep, transferring or getting to a point like, don't forget about the game and the guys you playing for that are from the left and the right side of you because of what's going on in this era. So this is why I say, man, don't forget the love for the game. Because right now, this is unbelievable for players, from a player standpoint, that you can't focus on a particular coach because he might don't be there. That is crazy for me as a player.
Yeah, I saw a recording last night, I think, of Bum Phillips many years ago saying, "You're either a fired coach or you're going to be a fired coach." That's what it is. It's one or the other. I went to a clinic when I was really young, and Woody Hayes stood up and he said, "What's your name, boy?" And I was scared to death. Should never sit on the front row when Woody Hayes was at the convention. And he said, "You coaching?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "You excited about this, aren't you?" He said, "Yeah." Well, 1% of coaches ever retire in coaching, so you're going to get fired. And I thought, God, that's a positive thing to say if you're looking at it. But Bobby Bowden got fired. his name's on the field. And I used to tell Coach Bowden and his wife, they're not going to fire you. And they fired him. Joe Paterno got fired.
Yes. Legend.
Jerry Moore won 3 national championships at App State. He got fired. So, and you got to look at some of these places. If there's been an athletics director who's fired 3 coaches in a row, maybe he should be fired because he's not hiring the right guys. Or maybe the structure at the place isn't what it should be, and you're expecting more than you're committing to. Because most of these jobs have a higher expectation than they have commitment. And then a lot of them aren't aligned right now. LSU doesn't have a president or an AD. So how can you hire a guy that wants to work for these people and they're ghost? There's nobody there yet, and LSU's a great job. But you got people in place. You got to be aligned. You got to commit. You got to give enough money to it, and that's just it. And then you can't stay too long. That's the
And
other. You got to
and
be loyal to yourself, and you got to leave when it's time to leave.
and Bob, this is why I have so much respect for Coach, and I am grateful that we had him because one of the things he used to do on Thursdays was he would read a letter from a Make-A-Wish kid that probably got 10 days left. And Coach will read this letter and, the kids saying how much they love us, watching us play, things like that. And Coach will always just say, like, this is why you have to count your blessings and to be appreciative of the opportunity that we have. Because playing this game, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to play this game or even coach. So he made that understood that every time we walk on this football field, understand this is a great opportunity for you and your family, and you make the best of it. So when you see these type of things going on with these coaches, it is unbelievable, and it resonates in your head why coach say these things to you, because you can be here one day and you could be gone the next day. So this is why you got to appreciate the game because this is a cutthroat league now. It is really just like the NFL, not for long.
And the coaches are dealing with so much, and now a fan base that comes out, I want him fired. I want him fired. I want him fired. He's not recruiting well. How are you going to recruit when you want me fired every day?
Right.
I can't do it. And then, as Vince said, you're dealing with the young guy we had last year with cancer. You're dealing with that every day. Now you're still trying to get your fan base. You're trying to get ready. You're dealing with your sick line coach. You're dealing with 3 hurt players. You're dealing with somebody that wants to transfer. You're dealing with a family that's going through a divorce and the guy's really struggling mentally.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a great player that comes in and said, Coach, I don't know, man. I'm tired. I've had it. I don't know if I want to keep playing or not. These coaches are dealing with so much that's not public that you should give them credit for what they're doing. And I hate what we're doing right now with these early firings. And it puts pressure on everybody. It's not good for the players. It's not good for the coaches. I don't even think it's good for the athletic directors because they're out there now trying to figure out how they're going to cover their rear end and hire somebody that's going to look good.
Yeah.
And then can he win?
You got to win.
It's a mess right now, and I hate it.
And to your point, there are 110 or 115 players that each one's dealing with something individually. Then you have all your coaching staff. Then you have your administrative staff, and it goes all the way across the board. And there's so much that goes into that.
Oh, by the way, your family.
Yeah, right.
Who's
Exactly.
carrying
Oh, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
Kids at school. Ryan Day said he had to get security for his kids at school. He had death threats. I mean, all those things are things that you deal with when something happens. You have to get a group text to your family and say, I just got fired. So hang on, just be ready. And I'm sorry. I'm good. I'm fine. I'll talk about it, but take care of yourself. Take care of our grandkids.
Yeah.
It's a tough. And then everybody says, well, you get paid for it. That doesn't matter.
Right.
You
Still
know,
human. I'm still human.
Yeah. You're
Right. Well,
fired.
Ryan Day is probably the best example of they wanted him out after he lost to Michigan, then they went and won the national title. So let's get into a little bit of that. College football playoff rankings come out this week. We talked at the beginning of the year about how nobody wants the rankings early in the year. Everybody's mad about those. Now you can get mad about them this week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, but that's the fun part of this, right? You look at a team like Texas A&M who entered November 7-1 last year and then fell off the table. We might be halfway through this year. There are teams that are at the halfway point of their year as we enter November. And Vince, I think it's interesting to look at what's ahead for a lot of these teams in November. As a player, with all that surrounds college football and everything that goes into making each year, a special year, trying to get to the SEC championship, trying to get to the college football playoff, how hard is it to focus in on just this week and not start thinking about what the big picture looks like and who the team is that we got to worry about this week instead of worrying about
I
the
mean,
bigger?
it shouldn't be hard at all because of the fact, like, you gotta focus on you. You can't feed into all that. I mean, I wish they wouldn't even put that stuff out till the last game. That's nothing but a distraction to
Bob,
throw you off. You know?
It's the best part of talking college football is getting to yell about why is this team 8? They should be 4. This team should be
yeah,
12.
but Vince didn't get to talk it. He had to work it.
Vince had to work
Right,
it.
I had to go to work. So I'm trying to focus on like Texas got a bye week. So as a leader, I'm trying to figure out, you know, how do I keep my guys out of trouble? How do I keep my guys, understand like, man, if your butt is hurt, get your butt in the rehab, in the training room. Uh, if you got some classes that you behind and some assignments, go get your butt in there and study and get back ahead so we don't have you not playing for the playoffs or the championship game. You got to start thinking about those things because of the fact it is tough to be a student athlete. You got to perform in the classrooms and you got to perform on the football field. So, okay, when you get these bye weeks, now take advantage of it. With your body, making sure you're eating right, make sure you're getting some rest. If it was me, I'd be knocked out. I'd be in the bed.
Now, Vince liked to sleep.
Sleeping, for real.
Vince liked to sleep.
I
So
love to sleep,
when he
so
went to sleep, he was out.
I'm out of there. Love you, good night.
Good night.
So, just gotta just think about that stuff because it's very important, that you take care of yourself mentally because it's not easy to play in college football, man. Everybody because it looks like it's easy, but it's not. It's a toll on your body and mentally too, especially playing at Texas when you got the whole world talking about you every day. Walk in the classrooms, just every text message is media. I mean, turn your phone off and get some rest. That's my main. I can tell guys they need to focus on right now.
What about you, coach? What excites you about this November when you look at this list of teams? I mean, we have so many good games left in this season. This week, there are so many good games. What is it that maybe excites you the most as we head into November?
I always take a deep breath and look at the last 4 games, last 3 games, and see where things are. I always divided the season up. It's so long. I divide it up. Okay, here's quote early season. Here's start of conference season till the OU game. Here's the next 4, and here's the finish. So Texas is at the finish. And like Vince said, now as the coach, tell me where you're going this weekend, and text me when you leave here. Text me when you get home. We lost a player. We lost Cole Pittman. So since that day in 2001, I have always worried about the players being on the road. So until all the coaches got texts from all their players, then the coaches would text me and say, "We're offensive line good. We're all there." Then text us before you come back and be back on time. Then stay out of trouble. They're in an uncontrolled environment this weekend for the first time.
Mhm.
They've been at a hotel with their coach, and like
Yeah,
Vince, get some rest. Don't
man.
be in the car. As they're driving, they're tired. They're all over the place. They're a lot of them ADD anyway, like me. They're doing too much.
Yeah.
You multitask and go. But then when you look at the polls coming out, and you look at what's important now, preseason polls are not important to me. I think they're a waste, and I think they're problematic. And I wish we'd do away with them. We're not going to because they're fun. They're fun for everybody except the coaches and the players.
Bob.
Right.
Uh,
Yes.
and that's
I agree. I totally agree with
no,
you.
they are.
I think if you have a realistic conversation, I totally agree we should not have a preseason poll.
Yeah.
But that's the fun part of talking. That's what builds the momentum and the excitement about college football is saying, hey, this weekend, number 1 plays number 4.
Yeah, and
3 plays
screws the
number 8.
coaches and the players
100%.
because number 1, number 4 heard number 1, number 4,
Correct.
so they're probably number 24, and you're saying they're number 1 as they go. But let's just look, for example, Ohio State's at Purdue this weekend. They got UCLA, they got Rutgers, then they're at Michigan. So they've got to do their business but beat Michigan. And
So you're saying they've got 3 scrimmages and then Michigan.
that they've got 3, they have to show up and don't screw it up. Yes. And then Indiana's got at Penn State this weekend. They could lose who they are this weekend, still in a great place, and then they've got Wisconsin, Purdue, which they should win. A&M's at Missouri. That's a little scary, but then they've got Samford, and then they come to Texas, which should be a great game. Love that matchup again. What about Alabama?
Yeah.
They're improved. Now they've got LSU this weekend at home. LSU's going to play relaxed. Alabama's probably going to relax a little bit and take a deep breath and say, "Oh, they lost their coach. They won't be ready to play." That's dangerous.
First game since they fired Brian Kelly.
And then they've got Oklahoma and at Auburn. Auburn doesn't have a coach either.
Right.
So there you go.
7th straight year that there's a different coaching matchup in Alabama-Auburn. How wild is that?
That's a little scary. A little scary.
7th straight year.
And they're talking about everybody wanting that job. They don't have enough coaches to take these jobs anymore. And then you've got, how about Georgia? They're not playing great, but they're still winning. And they're at Mississippi State between Florida and Texas. Their two biggest games of the year, probably, other than Alabama. So did they go lay an egg in Starkville? Because we just saw eggs being laid there. I mean, Mississippi State could beat you. Oregon goes to Iowa.
And that Iowa team's been impressive. They almost beat Indiana, lost by 3 to Iowa State, and they're 6-2.
And
That's
Oregon's
in Iowa City.
Oregon's like Texas. They've already lost.
Gonna be cold out there.
Margin is very thin. Texas Tech, Brigham Young's going to be fun to watch. Notre Dame's probably in good shape going into the end here.
They have actually, I think, is this week Pitt?
Nope, next week.
Okay,
that's
an interest. That's an interest. Pitt is playing pretty well. That's an interesting matchup for Notre Dame.
Pat Narduzzi's got their freshman quarterback who's playing better than anybody in the country, and they've got Navy, which they should beat, and they've got Syracuse, both at home. So they look at it, and then who wins the ACC? What happens to the second team in the Big 12? What happens to the second team in the ACC if they have 2 losses or 3? And do you get 5 teams in from the SEC?
Yeah.
Do you get 3 teams in from the Big 10? And then Notre Dame's going to get in. And then there's that group of 5, which I think they should go play their own game. That they should not be in this group
Conversation.
That shouldn't be in this conversation. Not fair to them or anybody else. Let them go play, man. Because they're at the same level with commitment. They're at the same level with money. You have Memphis playing Ohio State. It's not going to be pretty. It's just not fair. It's not fair to the kids.
There have been a few years that group of 4 team could compete. Boise State had a couple teams that could have competed, but in the overall perspective of it, it's been really tough for that team.
And it's usually because the Power 4 team wasn't ready to play too. They said, "Oh God, we're playing a group of 5 team," and that group of 5 teams trying to play in their mind for the national championship. So, but that's what we've got here over the next 3 or 4 weeks. We have a playoff. And what they did by creating a playoff is the playoff now starts at midseason. It doesn't start when the playoff starts.
Right.
Because who's going to play well enough to get in it? And then I was asked once to be on that playoff college football playoff committee. Brother. I don't want to be on that committee. They got no chance to get it right because there's too many teams that are a lot alike. Parity's here. And it's going to be impossible to get all the right teams. Somebody's going to get left out that's as good as somebody's in. And they're going to be mad about it. So that's why I think you've got to go strength of schedule, strength of record. So we keep seeing great games and we don't get people that are afraid to play somebody because you're not going to get in the playoff because your schedule's too hard. Let's play some really bad teams. Then we get in. No, let's make it where you get credit for playing great teams.
Right.
And then if you got 4 losses and you're still the best team, because we need to put the best teams in the playoff, we don't need to just put the ones with the best record that had easy schedules.
Well, and don't forget UCF won the national championship in 2017 as well. So there's a group of 4 team did back then they were a group of 4. Now they're Big 12. I thought you liked that.
And the team that they were playing didn't show up, by the way.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's Mack Brown's favorite segment every week, our Underdogs of the Week. As Matt continues his role, Vince just never loses.
I got momentum.
You got momentum.
Hey, you finish. It's not how you start, how you finish.
It'd be in November to remember from Mack Brown.
November to remember.
Stay with us, our Underdogs of the Week, and we'll talk a little more Texas football when we come back. This is The Stampede, a podcast on the Texas Longhorns, sponsored by Rise Energy Strip.
Are you ready to get off the bench and into the game? Then head over to Underdog to get in on all the action.
Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash.
This week on Underdog, I'm looking at two games. The showdown in Lubbock, BYU and Texas Tech. I'm going to take Texas Tech quarterback Baron Morton to go higher than 260.5 yards passing. Then I'm going to move out east. Let's go to Indiana at Penn State. I think Fernando Mendoza will go higher than 236.5 yards in that game. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code STAMPEDE to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code STAMPEDE. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. From Longhorns to startups, Branded Bills has you covered. Whether you're repping burnt orange pride or building a brand of your own, nothing tells your story like a custom hat. Branded Bills is a proud sponsor of Texas Athletics with licensed Longhorn headwear that holds up from the tailgate to the stadium and through the celebration.
Bob, don't forget the sidelines and the golf course, too.
You know it, Coach. You have to look good to play good.
But Branded Bills doesn't stop there. They specialize in custom headwear that helps teams, companies, and communities showcase who they are with premium fit, finish, and style.
So whether you're a Longhorn fan, a business founder, or just someone who wants to stand out, check out Branded Bills just like mine.
Explore their officially licensed UT collection or design your own custom hat built just for you. Branded Bills, from Longhorns to startups, licensed pride, custom style. You know that feeling when your team wins? It's electric. You're pacing the room, texting your group chat, yelling like you called the game-winning play yourself. Now imagine that winning energy hits right as your DoorDash order arrives. Perfect timing. Drinks are cold, pizza's hot, wings and fries are perfectly crispy. Now you're not just a fan, you're a winner. DoorDash turns every good college football game day into a great one with game day favorites delivered right to your door right when you need them most. So go ahead, ride that high, celebrate the W. Just try not to spike the remote out of excitement when your food shows up. Your team wins, you win. DoorDash delivers the W in food form. All right, it's time for our final segment of the Stampede, a podcast on the Texas Longhorns, sponsored by Rise Energy Strips. It is our Mack Brown segment of the week, Underdogs of the week, presented by Underdog Fantasy. Hey, a great week for all three of us. Mack Brown had Carson Beck to go higher than 248.5 yards passing at SMU. He did that in a loss. Mack moves to 5-7 on the year.
To throw in the loss. I didn't think he was going to win the game.
Right.
The quarter.
Right. That's
So,
what it was a performance in a loss.
Yeah, you media
but
guys.
you moved to 5-7 on the year. You continue your roll right now.
Yeah, no, I'm on
Momentum's
I'm on
really-
roll.
He's
Vince
hot.
had-
You remember November and October.
That's right. That's right. Vince had Haynes King, quarterback at Georgia Tech, to go higher than 220.5, which he did in a loss as well. But Vince moves to 9-2 on the season. He's our leader in the clubhouse. I had Tennessee's Joey Aguiar to go higher than 263.5, which I think he did by halftime against Oklahoma, and they had like 6 points. It was the most bizarre. They couldn't score, but they were all over the place throwing the ball. So I moved to 8-3 on the season. We're 3-0 week for all of us. Let's do it again this week. We're going to start with Mack Brown. Mack, your pick this week is?
It is Fernando Mendoza, transfer from Cal to Indiana as a quarterback. They're at Penn State, which will be really interesting because Penn State had a tough game with Ohio State on the road last week, hung in there till the end, then kind of got blown out at the end. I'm expecting Fernando to throw for more than 236.5 yards.
I mean, that seems like a number he should hit. 236.5 yards for Fernando Mendoza, Indiana's quarterback.
Thank you
Mack
for
is
your
going
endorsement.
higher. That one. I'm with you, Coach. You're on a roll right now. I'm in your back pocket.
No,
I'm with you. Now, if you start losing, we're gonna start kicking you out again.
Yeah, I've seen you do that before.
All right, Vince. Who are you taking this week?
Oh man, I hate to do this, but shout out to my boy Reggie McNeil. He's out there coaching my son at Kincaid, so I appreciate him. You know, when dad's not around, you got an uncle over there.
And the uncle's an Aggie, so you've come around a little bit. So
Just a little bit.
Exactly. I'm coming around.
you are.
But I'm gonna go with Marcel Reed. I think it's gonna go lower. 20 what is it? 7.5.
227 and a half. You're going lower.
I
And
lower. I
Mark,
like this kid though. I like this kid. He wears the
no,
number 10.
he's
That's
been
my favorite
fantastic.
number.
No, he's been fantastic.
My favorite
He's
number
a
too.
baller. He's a baller. So you know, for my Aggie fans, y'all out there, you know, I'm gonna show y'all just a little bit of love. Johnny Manziel, just a little love, just a little love.
The Aggies play at Missouri this week, a tough test as they try to keep their undefeated record intact, and they head up to Columbia, Missouri, as Vince takes Marcel Reed lower than 227 and a half yards passing. In the showdown in West Texas, Lubbock, Texas, BYU coming to town, I'm going to take Baron Morton to go higher than 260 yards, 260 and a half yards passing as Texas Tech, I think, gets it done against BYU
That
this
should be
year.
easy because they took the tortillas away.
They took the tortillas away. BYU has nothing to be afraid of as they head to Lubbock, and they you miss those tortillas, don't you, Mac?
I did. I got some scars. Get hit hard too.
They took the
You know
tortillas,
what?
so they
Those
should be good.
Kalani Shiitake and Joey McGuire have done a tremendous job. So
Yes.
shout out to both of them. That should be a great game. It's one I'm sure going to watch.
I love it. Those are our underdogs of the week. As always, if you sign up with promo code STAMPEDE, you can score $100 in bonus entries when you play $5. As always, underdog make picks, win money. As Texas comes down the stretch, what a stretch this is. Bye week at Georgia, Arkansas at home, A&M at home. You get your two rivals to finish the season. Two of those three teams are going to be top 5 teams, which is it's a wild finish for Texas after playing number 9 Vanderbilt this week. Let's start with Max must-dos. It's the bye week. What has to happen this week? Obviously, he's going to try to get some guys healthy. Jelani McDonald, Michael Taff are critical as they try to shore up that secondary. And Ryan Wingo's dislocated thumb as well. What are the must-dos this week for Steve Sarkisian and his program?
First, the open date, the bye week comes at a perfect time because you've got a season left, and that season's these 3 games. And it's going to determine whether you're in the playoffs, whether you're the conference champion, or whether you've had a disappointing year. So you got 3 weeks to make it work and a bye week to do that. From a coaching standpoint, the first thing you do is you self-evaluate everything you've done in the conference. You don't worry about the Sam Houstons and the El Pasos, and you throw those stats out. You look at every little thing you've done because you're going back and you're looking at yourself, and you're trying to see what the opponent's seeing. What tendencies do you have? What do we need to break in these next 3 games? We've hit that flare pass to Wingo. When do we pump and go? What's next? When do we crack and go? So you really go back and self-evaluate every play in all 3 phases, and what can you do to do better, tweak, change a few things. Don't change who you are. You got your identity, but change a few things. Second thing you do is you reevaluate personnel. You look at every player, especially the young ones, who can play more plays. A young player, a second team player only should come in when he can play better than the first team player because the first team player is tired. So how many plays can the first team defensive lineman play until the second guy comes in and he can get 10 plays to rest him? So they're doing that. What about this secondary? Who's hurt? Who's not? Get those guys well. Then you go back and you teach the young ones. You can hit them some, but you go back and go back over all your fundamentals. Let's get our steps right. Let's throw and catch. Let's tuck the ball away. All the things that you started in preseason, you do this week. And then as coaches, you again, like I said earlier, instruct the guys to take care of themselves this weekend. And that's where the Vinces of the world come in. He's the leader. So I say it, they walk in the locker room and Vince goes over and says, he meant it now. We got 3 games to get where we want to go. You got the rest of your life to party, man. So you get where you're supposed to this weekend. You keep your mouth shut, you get some rest, and you need to play better. So you go do what you're supposed to do. Then coaches, they meet after the Thursday morning practice. They're working on Georgia right now, and working a little bit on A&M without saying it, like we talked about Oklahoma some. And then Thursday afternoon, they're on the road. They're going to watch Thursday night games, Friday night games, probably a Saturday night game if some in Texas are still playing on Saturday nights. And then you get back for Sunday morning. Then you start your season over. And Sark will say, "Forget it, man. That what's been done has been done. We're starting fresh and new. How exciting is this? We've got Georgia this weekend at Georgia, something we didn't get accomplished last year. For us to get where we want to go, Georgia's in the way. We got to go on the road in the SEC, beat a defending champ that's really, really good in a very tough environment to show who we are. And we've done all of this stuff up until this point to prepare for this. Now this is big guy ball. This is big guy ball.
Yep.
So there's no dodging. You can't make mistakes in this game and win. So let's go play our best.
So Vince, on that note, you're the leader on this Texas team. What are you saying to your teammates this weekend? Because it's a scary weekend for coaches. It's a very relaxing, exciting weekend for players because they haven't had a lot of downtime this year. So what are you saying to your teammates?
Yeah, like Coach said, like as soon as Thursday practice is over, we having a team meeting on Friday. I'm texting all my leaders, Rob Wright, Sobin Young, Sin Line, Casey Stutter, wideouts. Hey, 2:00 team meeting. 2:00 team meeting. Make sure you get your guys here. I'm already while coach is talking, I'm already like in my notes, like writing down stuff. Like how coach get on that little that little paper coach be doing. I'm as a quarterback learning just from coach. I'm writing all these notes down, and we got a team meeting. So soon you guys get out of class or whatever, go take care of your business in that morning. I already know guys are finna take off. So let me get a hold of them before they leave. Hey, that's team meeting. That's meet. In that meeting room, me, Rob Wright, the leaders, and not just me up top talking. We all standing, 5 or 6 of us standing in front of the team. I say my spiel. Rod says everybody says they spiel of how important guys stay safe this weekend. Get some rest. If you hurt, don't go. No, don't even leave. Stay your butt here. Get your rehab in. Do your training because we need you. Making sure they understand the importance of these last 3 games. We didn't have playoffs, so these last 3 games are important to us. So we can go to the Big 12 and then have an opportunity to play for the national championship. These guys got 3 games left, and if they do well, they got particularly, 3 or 4 more games
Of the
left.
season.
There's another season going. So you have to understand that as a leader, whoever the leader is on that team is the importance of where we at, where we started and where we at right now. We lost a big game against Ohio State, but we still in the mix. I mean, coach been saying it all year. Yeah, we lost that game. We lost that Florida game, but we still in the mix. Look where we at right now. So as the leaders stand and talking to it, making these points out, they got to understand the importance of it's not about you right now. It's about us. So don't go out there and do something that's going to embarrass the whole entire team as well as the coaching staff and everyone. So it's very important that the leaders call a team meeting before everybody gets get where they finna go.
Yeah, and don't get in trouble where you get hurt or you can't play.
Yeah, we need you.
Yeah, and the other thing, Bob, we would tell them is when Georgia's playing Mississippi State, you've been to Mississippi State, you know how hard it is, you know their players, you've played Georgia twice last year. I want everybody to watch that game, and each coach is gonna sit down with every player and say, "Here are the things I want you to answer about what you're going to do during the game, what Georgia's doing." So let's get a full scouting report off of the Mississippi State Georgia game while we're fresh and we're watching them because they've done what they're going to do, what we've already done.
Mhm.
So let's watch this and see. Let's walk out of there and have a better feel of who Georgia is against a like opponent. And that really helps us get a game plan ready for Sunday.
It's pretty interesting to look at some of the numbers that go into this. Georgia is terms of scoring defense, they're giving up 19 a game. That's 26th in the country. Arkansas is 121st in scoring defense. A&M is 60th in scoring defense. So Texas has a real opportunity here down the stretch. And if you
Yes.
didn't believe it before, to see the way they've played the second half against Mississippi State, the whole game against Vanderbilt, and what's ahead of them. And look at this Georgia team. They just somehow keep surviving. I would think if you're a
Just like
player,
Texas.
just like Texas,
Right.
I think if you're a player, you're thinking like, this is a great weekend for me to just chill and know that we've got a real opportunity here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get some
I
rest.
think it sets up perfectly if you're and Vince and I used to say, if you're good enough, you can get it done. You got to be good enough, and you got to do it. You can't talk about it.
Yeah.
So do it. So if you don't rest this weekend, you didn't care enough to win a game.
Yeah. Or you didn't care about your teammates.
You didn't
Like,
care enough about your teammates. It
come on
wasn't
now.
important to you to do your job. So that's part of the military comparison between football and the military. Take care of the man on your right, take care of the man on your left. The old LinkedIn, when they sit and say, feel the blood flowing in the military. Well, if you don't do your job, that won't be flowing when you get back, man.
Exactly.
You take
For
care
real.
of your teammates, and that's how important this weekend is for these guys to take care of their role and their part to help their teammates get where they want to go.
We're going to find out about the maturity level of this Texas team, not just this weekend, but then if they beat Georgia, can they do it again against Arkansas? And then we get to go into A&M. I mean, this is going to be a really fun 4-week stretch for Texas as they come down the stretch and we see what they can do. As always, Vince, thank you. Mack, thank you. Your insights are invaluable to Texas fans. We appreciate both of you. Get that crowd noise going. Let me hear it, BY. We appreciate both you guys. Thank you for being a part of this one. Thank you guys for listening out there. Again, you can always rate and review us. We're at the Stampede UT anywhere on social media, and you can find this podcast anywhere you get your podcast, whether that's YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else. For Vince Young.
And you all rest up this weekend. Take care of yourself. Don't get hurt. Don't get in trouble. And get ready to play next week.
Let's go.
It's
Come on,
time.
fans. We need you.
Texas lost twice to Georgia last year. They got a great chance next week to beat them again. All right, for Vince Young and for Mack Brown, I'm Bob Ballou. We appreciate you listening to this edition of The Stampede, a podcast on the Texas Longhorns, sponsored by Rise Energy Strips. We'll see you next week.